Hello, welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 404. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a talk episode where the tutors talk.
Love that.
404, episode not found.
404. We, what am I getting at here? We got a coffee shop opened up down the road.
Hell yeah.
Legacy Brewing. Legacy Coffee.
Something.
Went there today, and here's the deal. I judge every place I go to based on the what? The iced Americano black. Okay?
Mm-hmm. It's plain now. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Black. Or we could say dark brown. Either way.
Yeah, anyways.
So, I've had a few in my day. By a few, my friend Andrew, that I used to weightlift, turned it on to me when I was 19 or 20. I'm trying to think of what that, it would have been when I was 20 years old. He turned it on to me when I was 20. And since then, I've probably had, I don't know, around like 1,500 to 2,000 of them, I would say.
Probably, yeah.
You know, you figure since 22, so 8 years, I get about one every other day minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So 150 times 8, what you getting? Around 1,200? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I've had around 1,200 to 1,500 iced Americanos.
Yeah.
And is that a good way to spend my money? Fuck you.
I mean, we budget for it, so.
It's in my budget because I love it. So when I hear there's a coffee company opening up 2 minutes from the house, I'm like, if their Americano sucks, I'm going to be so pissed off. So I went there this morning. They opened up on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Soft opening on Friday.
Friday and Saturday, yep.
So I went there today, and I'm fucking happy.
Dude, it's good.
It's good coffee. It's strong.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't bitch out. She put in a smalls. If you go to Starbucks, it's 1.
Dude, look how dark that is.
I know. If you go to Starbucks, they put 1. Almost everywhere else in a small puts 2. Because Americano, you get 1 extra shot.
Yeah.
This place, they're like, no, homie. Small Americano, you get 3. You go medium, you get 4. You get large, you get 5. And I'm like, I don't know what coffee shop this is, but you have a new customer.
How expensive was it?
$3.
How much was mine?
$4.75 or $5.
That's not bad. Because we go to Caribou and it's 11 something.
That's the issue. So if you guys like coffee like I do, and you like black, can you ask her if she needs something important, please? And you like black, and you're out and about, and you're like, man, there's not a good joint. What do I do? One of the best Americanos you can get out there is from Caribou. And so it's a very safe, very good bet. The issue is it's a little more expensive. And especially like Sam can't have dairy because of our wonderful child Lily. And so we try to get coconut milk because it froths up the best in a cappuccino or latte. Froths up better than an almond or an oat. And coconut milk actually has a lot less shit in it too.
And more calcium.
More calcium and a lot less like bad shit for you. Because almond milk and oat milk, contrary to popular belief, is not good for you.
No.
It's got a lot of it's got like preservatives and weird shit in it that's not good. Coconut milk doesn't have that.
Not nearly as much.
Not nearly as much. It's still not as good as like a good quality milk, dairy milk, but Sam can't have dairy. So coconut milk, guys, is actually a really good option. And it froths up better. So anyways, it's expensive when you go to Caribou. moving on, because you probably don't want to hear about coffee all fucking day long. I was really impressed. They also have breakfast sandwiches there.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you what they had for food.
Just one breakfast sandwich for breakfast. And then lunch option, they got like 3 different sandwiches, which I thought was legit.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's like a pulled beef sandwich was one of them, or a hot beef, something like that.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, I'm interested to try it out. Fair price, $8.50. So that's pretty standard.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
And then I think lunch was like 11. And then, so yeah, I would say their Americano is probably, pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like, I drink it a lot. Now,
is it better than Shift?
The best coffee, the best Americano you can get that money can buy if you're in the Eau Claire market is Shift. Hands down, cannot beat it. It's also the most expensive Americano you can buy. So 2 things. 1, very liberal down there. And I'm not down there a ton, so I don't get a lot. And it's the most expensive. So, but if you want a treat and you want the best Americano, it is Shift. Now, okay.
Keep going.
If we're talking about the best coffee shop in Eau Claire, which I don't know how I'm sorry we got on this topic, everybody, but I'm here. And now you're listening to me. The best coffee shop all around, because of like your atmosphere, good coffee, but not the best coffee, but still like good coffee. Great food, like some of the best food, and a big space with a lot of like variety, shopping, shit like that. Coffee Grounds, you can't beat it. There's no coffee shop I visit more than Coffee Grounds, period. It's on the opposite side of town from me.
Yeah, which sucks.
It doesn't even make sense for me to go there, but the owner, Will, he's awesome, and him and his wife have put together such a great place that I just freaking spend all my free money there.
Yeah.
Their food's great, coffee's really good, and they've got cigars, they've got all your different alcohols, wines. Their wine's freaking banging.
Yeah, there's a brewery attached.
And it's just, all the people are great. We really like the people there too. But so as far as like, if I'm going to sit down and hang out at a coffee joint, it's there. But I'm pretty happy with this. This is similar quality coffee.
Yeah. Where do you think has the best breakfast sandwiches?
The best breakfast sandwich?
Yeah.
Not breakfast food, but breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, because you do burritos, so I'll give you burritos.
Well, it's not. If we do burritos, it's not fair. Coffee Grounds wins by such a far margin. It's not real, so we can't actually do burritos.
Okay,
they just have
sandwich.
the burrito market. So breakfast sandwich. Tell me yours, because I got one.
Silly Serrano. Really?
Racy's.
I haven't had theirs. I have not had theirs.
Theirs is one of the best. Racy's is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee Grounds is pretty good, but they don't have that. That's not their like
no, that's
creme
not,
de la creme.
No.
Silly Serrano is pretty good. But dude, let me tell you.
And for the price of Silly Serrano too, I think it's worth it.
100%. Yep. The price of Silly Serranos is stupid. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, you get yourself down to Racy's.
We'll have to try it.
And you're not going to be mad.
Yeah.
Racy's has good coffee too. And so Coffee Grounds has really good tea.
Yeah.
And you can buy it in bulk, which we do. But it's pretty spendy. Racy's has bulk tea you can buy as well for quite a bit better pricing.
Yeah.
So if you like tea a lot and you drink tea at home a lot, Coffee Grounds has a few more flavors that are like banging, dude. Yeah. But you can get, if you're just a tea drinker and you don't care about like the best of the best tea, the best flavor, Racy's has good tea for cheap.
Yeah. When we went on our road trip out east, Shaun likes to compare everything by Americanos, and I like to compare everything by a breakfast sandwich. So it was like fun for us because we obviously went out to breakfast every single day. So we would Shaun would get his Americano, and I would get the breakfast sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
and we would compare.
That place in Maine was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that place was really good. The place in outside of Boston, was it? That we sat at the bar, and they asked us if we wanted coffee to go.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best breakfast sandwich.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where they were just, that guy was harping the other dude next to us.
Yeah.
And everyone was eating muffins with fucking syrup drizzled on it.
Yes.
I would go back to that place in a second.
And that's where they were having, not fights, but they were bantering about which place in Philadelphia has the best Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah. And the dude's like, I like to go here. And he's like, that place is trash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is great, dude.
It was Boston because they had really Boston accents.
Really? Yeah. That place was sick.
That place was sick.
I had a burrito. That was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, gang. All right, cool. So, guys, I don't know if you cared for that this morning, but that's what you get. And we love coffee and we love breakfast food pretty much more than anything else.
You know what I've been really craving lately, and we should just learn how to make them? Pierogies.
Oh, pierogies are so good, dude. So good.
I want to go back to Krakow, Poland, just so we can have some pierogies. That one place, it was this little hole-in-the-wall place. Just tiny little thing, too. So good. We had, like 6 different flavored pierogies?
Dude, all I remember was the pierogies were so fucking good. And we're like, well, what are we going to do with these? Like, we got a bunch left over. And I was like, bring them home for breakfast because there's going to be nothing better than these delicious pierogies for breakfast. And you know
You
what?
were right.
I was right. It's freaking bombing. So that's food. That's getting a tap on the coffee and food market in Eau Claire.
Yep.
What do you got going on?
I'm just feel like a single mom working too hard. No, not really. If you guys are watching the video, I'm pumping while we're podcasting right now.
Yeah, and I was gone for 13 and a half hours yesterday.
Yeah, I did not get to leave the house yesterday.
Sam was not probably loving me yesterday.
Yeah, it worked out because Shaun's dad's in town, so
Yep.
Him and his girlfriend Beverly came over for a couple hours and hung out with baby. So that was nice because I got some like deep cleaning stuff done around the house that I've wanted to do. And then my mom came later in the night, so I got some gardening done.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really nice. So if that wouldn't have happened, I would have been a little annoyed.
Sure.
But because like I was able to like step away from baby for like 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
I was fine.
Dude, something that's crazy is like I knew I always worked a lot, but I never had jobs where I needed to clock. Well, except for when I worked at like Menards years ago, or when I worked at Bredding's when I was in high school. Like I've pretty much been salary since I was, 21 a lot of the times, 22. And so, 22, yeah, since 22 I've pretty much been salary. But then like the last year I've been hourly. So now I actually like track my hours. And I'm like, man, I work a lot sometimes. And there'll be days like today where I'm just like, I'm really not going to work much because like I just shouldn't.
Yeah, Shaun worked enough for both of us yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I got about 15 minutes in.
Yeah. But it's funny to think about because like I never like tracked that shit before.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, yeah, I mean, just like I work a lot. I work like probably 60, 70 hours a week. And it's like, oh, dude, yeah, when like, yeah. I don't do that as much anymore. Now I'm like pretty steady at like 40 for actual like clocked in for tutor transformations.
Yeah. Something that like we talked about during our like business meeting was like Shaun and I obviously we're together most of the day. So like in the afternoons when we're just at home, a lot of times we're talking about business.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shaun and I just genuinely like business and we talk about it all the time.
It's almost like we do that right now.
I know, seriously.
Shocker.
It's like we started a podcast because of it.
Gang.
So yeah, it's kind of like hard because like we were discussing like how do we compensate ourselves for that? Should we like be clocked in for that stuff? Like whatever. So it is like very strange for us to be hourly.
Yeah.
Just because our lives kind of evolve around business.
A lot. Mm-hmm. A lot. Yeah, kind of a lot. So it was interesting, whatever. So went to, we talked about this last week, but we're talking about it today too. We went to a town hall meeting yesterday, and democracy doesn't work. So, in a republic, the people represented are supposed to represent the people based on like votes of the people. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like if you get a representative, they're supposed to be like, hey, let's take a vote, and the citizenship is like, yep, we're on board. Democracy, you choose a representative who makes decisions for you based on them being elected.
Yeah.
And you having elected them, they're like, oh, we're their representative because they chose us, so we get to make decisions for them, right? Mm-hmm. When I noticed that yesterday at this town hall meeting, and what was interesting is the last town hall meeting, they elected a couple people for their board and to be on the board, and they didn't open it up to the floor. They're just like, we need to elect for this position and this position. Who's going to do it? And there's a couple people in the crowd, or like, no. There's a couple people in the crowd or whatever that's just like, not us, whatever, right? And they're just like, okay, well, you're on the board, so we're gonna elect you, and we're gonna elect you. So they just elected the two people on the board to take over these roles as well. And I'm like, how the fuck's the board electing people,
right?
And the citizenship isn't electing people,
right? Like that's weird.
I didn't get that at all. So we're at this meeting, dude, and this is super interesting. I went to a town hall meeting in a different township last year, and I didn't love it because they didn't deal in facts whatsoever.
Right.
They dealt in 100% emotion. However, they took the whole crowd's feedback and the emotion of the crowd, and they made their judgment based on that.
Right.
And I was like, this is stupid because no one's fucking looking at facts here. They're just listening to these motherfuckers in the crowd crying, right? Okay. That's a republic. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we went to the county level, and the county's like, hey, town meetings are meant for emotion. We deal in logic and fact here at the county. Bing, 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 bing. They pass us because they're like, no matter how much you all bitch and moan, none of this goes against the rules, which means it has to get allotted.
But they did put in stipulations.
They put in stipulations based on the feelings of everyone in the crowd.
Right. So it was a good like mixture once you got to the crowd or the county level.
Exactly. Yes, it actually was because they took the feedback from the township, and they go, here's the concerns. Bop, 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 bop. I cannot deny you because you are not against the rules. So we're going to approve based on the emotions. Bop, 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 bop. So you cover these emotions, and then you get the approval. I said, you know what? I can respect that. That makes sense. And I was very happy with the turnout because I was really concerned that they were going to deny me based on emotion. Right. When I got up to the county, I was very concerned. And Jeremy, who works with us with Real Land Surveying, he's like, no, Shaun, like, he's like, we're going to be able to argue your point here well, because this isn't like the township, because he goes to a ton of meetings. So boom, now we're at the different township here. This board is not a republic. This board is a democracy. There's people in the crowd last week that talked that were like, we don't like the clientele that we're here. We don't want this. It's the black sheep, whatever.
Did you say what you were at the meeting for?
Oh, we're doing a building. It's to do a rezone from highway commercial to residential. The difference is there's either going to be a motel built or an apartment complex built.
And it's like a long stay motel. So before there was like couple sex offenders. It was all like single older men that were at
because
this
you
place.
can't discriminate in a motel. You
Right.
can't do background checks. You can't discriminate, nothing like that. If someone wants a room and they have money, you got to rent it to them. And so that's not the case with apartments. So we got people who are like, we don't want these type of people living in our residential community. And we're like, okay, then let's do an apartment and then we can vet. And this is what the feedback from the group and the people, the people in the crowd, the town board's like, that goes against the plan the board made. And it's like, the plan the board fucking made? What are you talking about?
Right.
It's like, that goes against the plan that we have. We want it to stay highway commercial because if it ever sells, then it's highway commercial. And we're like, how does that have to do with anything? And so they're like, because it's not highway commercial, then we're denying you. So okay, boom, get to the next meeting. And we're like, hey, the front part of the lot's going to stay highway commercial because that's what you guys want. The back part will be R3. They're like, we like to have this. We like to do our zoning based in districts. So this district's highway commercial, this district's R1, this district's R3. There's a gentleman sitting behind me. And so they're like, because of that, we're denying the R3 and keeping it highway commercial. And he's like, so-and-so in the crowd. If he's like, if you want to build R3, that gentleman lives in the R3 area. Why don't you build it over there? And the guy's like, across the street, like we can see it. What do you mean that's not in the same area?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we're all kind of dumbfounded. I'm giving the pitch. I'm explaining why this is great for the community because we've gotten good feedback from neighbors. So I'm presenting, I've got my whole page of exactly why this is great for the community, that we've gotten good feedback, why this is beneficial. There's people in front of me, nice couple in front of me, nodding. You can tell they're like, yes, please approve this. People on the board, they do not give a fuck what these people in the crowd want. They're just like, the whole thing remains highway commercial. It goes against our plan that we made as the board, so we're denying it. And that right there, I was like, just a slap in the face of like, dude, democracy does not work. You have people in the crowd who want a change. And the board's like, tough shit. We don't want to change because it goes against the plan that we made. Not the plan that we made, that the people made, or we made with the people to represent. No. We made a plan. We want to stick to our plan because all of us up here on the board have never had power before, but now we've got power over a little township and we're going to be cucks. Yeah. So we're really looking forward to, we got the county meeting this Thursday. So this will actually come out after that. So hopefully we get the W there. We'll be dealing with a lot more facts and a lot less board emotion. And so hopefully we can make, the thing is like, we're putting up a building. You can either benefit the citizenship in the town or not. Either way, the building's going up.
Yeah. I just think it's so ridiculous that like I don't know. It's just so dumb because they're just like, oh, we got this plan, but now you're going to go to the county and you can be like, yeah, they said they have this plan that doesn't actually exist. And then the county can just be like, yeah, this is a dumb plan, and just do what you want.
They already said that they have 2-acre minimums at the township. So we called the county and we said, hey, is this real? And they go, no, it's 30,000 square feet, which is like 0.66 acres or 0.7 acres. And they're like, yeah, that's not true at all. Like, that doesn't exist. And they're like, they also said they're looking to get all this section as highway commercial. So they asked the county, hey, is this actually like a plan that's set forth? And they're like, no, the plan is turning all that to R1.
Shut up.
So it completely contradicted the whole thing the board was saying.
Dude, that board should be tossed out.
Bro, I'm like, how the fuck are you guys in charge of shit?
You know what that reminds me of too? So Eau Claire doesn't have a mayor. We have a city planner or something.
The dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Keep going.
So most of the city officials don't like her.
Shocker.
They just re-voted her in for another 3 years.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if someone's not representing you or someone's not doing what you want them to do, you should vote them back in. Absolutely.
100%. Why? Yeah.
Look at the governor of California.
Yeah.
Fucking dude, guys. I'm telling you, this is true in psychology, right? We the human, like, humans tend to go with what they're used to compared to not what they're like comfortable with or what they're happy with.
Yeah.
They lean to whatever they're used to.
Yeah.
So if you like, people are afraid of change so much that they're like, well, we would rather suffer and be miserable and have policies that go against us, rules that go against us, be taxed high, everything like that, compared to changing, because change is scary. So like, it could even be change for the better. Like, hey, we're going to put in these policies, things are going to get better. We're going to pull away a lot of the oversight and a lot of the regulations and stuff to open up to make businesses easier to operate. And people will be like, no, we can't have that because that's new and that's scary. So instead, let's stay where we're at with our hands tied and keep going deeper into a hole because that's comfortable.
Yeah.
Being crushed is, and people, I have to admit, you motherfuckers need to grab your balls and stand the fuck up and quit doing this shit and make a change. Granted, at this township, you don't have I don't know your option because they vote the fucking board in. What does that even mean?
Right.
How the fuck is that even dude?
Could you tell, like, was the whole board obviously friends?
They're a bunch of fucking losers. I know that.
Obviously.
I can't tell. Like, you can tell a lot of them know each other because they joke around and whatever. And they're chuckling up there and whatever. But I don't know if they're friends.
Oh, also, this town meeting, so they had points, what'd you say, A through R?
A through R. And that was after 45 minutes of going over all your, like, reviewing the budgets, reviewing your minutes, reviewing
whatever,
all your shit.
So Shaun was G, and you got out of there at 9.
I got out of there around like 9:15, and so it would have been, you can see when I texted you.
Oh yeah.
But so it would have been 7 o'clock. The meeting started. We were on line G out of R, and Sam's gonna tell you what time that was at.
Yep, just at 9.
At 9 o'clock. So 2 hours to get to there. So, shoof. It's just,
We say that it's important to, like, vote in your local officials, and that just, like, proved our point, because
so much, dude, so much.
you can't even vote one that's, I don't even, like, that shouldn't even be illegal, that you don't get to vote in your local board.
So fucking dumb, dude.
And two, that, like, goes to show, like, it clearly goes to show they are obviously not the right people to be representing your township, because they don't even care what the people of their township want.
Well, dude, and then there was a guy, so they were going over, like, chip filling and paving and graveling and all this shit, right? There's a dude in the back who's like, I have sent, they're like, they start out like, do you have anything you're here, or like, would you like to say anything to the board? We're opening it up. This guy raised his hand and he's just like, we had chip filling last year. It failed miserably. Kids can't rollerblade, skateboard, bike on the sidewalks and road. It's terrible. He's like, I can't even ride my bike because this shit just kicks up and hits us. He's like, it was done very poorly. I've sent in multiple requests for this to get fixed. I've not heard back once. That is why I'm here today. And I would like, because they're going over the bids and stuff, to do crack filling, chip repair, all that stuff for different roads. And he's like, I'm here to request that when they're doing all this, they fix our stuff because they did not do it right last year. And the guy that did it is sitting right there. The guy, the owner of the, you know what I'm saying? Owner of the company that did it. And the board's just like, okay, moving on. And I'm just like, are you fuck? And so, dude, they never even addressed that. Like, for 2 hours, and they're going over all this, they didn't even address that guy of like, yeah, you know what? We will look at fixing that. Nothing like that. The owner of the company who was there that fucked everything up wasn't like, you know what? Sorry, we'll fix that.
Yeah.
Nothing, dude.
Dude, if I was the people in that township, I would go to the county and be like, these people aren't listening to us. Like, they're not taking anything into account. Like, this road needs to be fixed and they won't even acknowledge it. Like, I would go to the county about that.
Well, and the other thing is, dude, so apparently there's like a couple different processes for that or whatever. And so they do the cheapest option, of course. They do the cheapest option that fails the fastest. And there's like, yeah, there's other options, but it costs more money. And they're like, there's a lot better options with research to back it up.
Yeah.
And there's a dude on the board and he's just like, well, we tried that option a year ago and it failed. And so what's the difference to doing that and the cheap option? And the guys are like, the two guys, they're with different companies. They're like, okay, yeah, in some conditions, yes, it fails, but it's nowhere near the amount.
Right.
And the guy's like, oh, well, prove it that it's not anywhere near the amount. And they're just like, look at the research.
Right.
And so I'm just sitting here like, okay, there's a dude here complaining that it don't work. These two guys even say like, yeah, this is like the cheapest option. We don't even enjoy bidding this option because it's trash. We think you should do X or Y would be even better. And they're just like, yeah, no, we're going with the cheapest option. And I'm just like, dude, to me and being in construction and shit like that, I will give this option to some homeowners and stuff when we're working on projects. They'll be like, I want this done. And I'll be like, here's your option. We can fix it right. It's going to be X. We can Band-Aid fix it and it'll be this amount. And it blows my mind. So customers will just be like, just Band-Aid it. And I'm just like, okay, understand you might only get a year or two out of this. This way, we fix it for 10, 15, 20 years. This way, we're just slapping a Band-Aid on. And they're just like, that's fine. And you know what? A lot of times it makes sense because it's like, no, this is a rental or I'm looking to sell it or whatever. Let's I'm like, I get it, dude, because we Band-Aid some things too that it's like, hey, put a Band-Aid on, solve the issue for 3 years compared to, you know,
completely tearing out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get their situations, but I'm sitting here like this. You've got residents complaining. It clearly ain't fucking working. You've got the money in the account. They showed us the money they got in the account. So you're talking the difference was $6,000 compared to $12,000. They got $798,000 in cash in their account. They got $798,000 in their account. And they're talking about $6,000 compared to $12,000 to do it right. And I'm sitting here like over $6,000 to not have complaints, to have better stuff for your community, for it to last longer, be a longer term fix. And you're just like, nope, let's just fuck this up and revisit it again next year. It's like you're going to drop that other $6,000 in a couple of years because it's going to be so fucked up.
That's
so anyways,
ridiculous, dude.
That shit pisses me off. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It just like reminds me. We talked about. I just remembered that we talked about this, and I need to work on it. Because like we're gonna start in our contracts that we have customers sign. We're gonna start putting a clause in there if customers don't choose materials that we recommend. That like, cause like there's shower surrounds that are way better than other shower surrounds. There's toilets that are way better than other toilets. So like we're gonna have a clause in there that if they don't use X product, we cannot guarantee or warranty that it'll last X amount of time or whatever.
And if it's installed and there's issues, that's on them. If they want us to fix it, we will be paid to fix it. My bid is my bid based on these products, not these. So if it takes more time, you'll get charged for more time. Because, dude, we've been hit now so many times. We're like, hey, bid us for
a shower surround.
So I'm like, okay. And I put in the bid, the shower surround, I'm bidding it based on. And they're like, well, we want this one. For a while, I'm like, okay, cool, we'll do that. Dude, some of them take, no joke, 2 to 4 times as long to install.
Yeah, the most recent one was about 4 times.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this shower surround was 4 times longer. And so that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Not getting paid for 3x what you build this thing for.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's going to be some stipulations being put in on things like that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, obviously, like, we will at some point, like, not be having as many customer jobs. So, like, it won't be as big of a deal. But it's nice because we should get paid for the time we're putting in.
Yeah.
And if customers want it a certain way, like, they should have to pay for it to be that way. Yeah, because there's lots of little things like tile we discovered about a year ago, like, really matters.
Tile size?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we knew tile size matter.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have it in the contract.
Right.
So
yeah.
now we put it in the contract. This is based on this tile size.
Yeah.
And so if a customer decides they want a different tile size, we go, that's fine. This is going to be the financial implication with doing that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just something we're obviously working on to improve our numbers and profitability and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about here. You cool with rolling more?
Yeah, okay.
All right, the last thing I want to talk about. On Monday's episode, we talked about, like, we talked about taxes a lot, and is it worth taking some time away from your business to hedge your funds, to put your funds in an area where you can write it off, okay? Now let's go for a minute here on ROI. So let's forget for a second about taxes. And let's just think about pure return on investment, okay? So if you put it in the stock market, your goal is to shoot for like an 8 to 10%. You know, your S&P average is 8. So if you're putting it in mutual funds, stocks, things like that, your goal is to have over 8%. A lot of people are 10 to 12% is what they shoot for, right? Mm-hmm. So you look at that, okay, I'm going to invest X amount of money and I'm hoping for a 10 to 12% return. Now, if you know this, you want to have that in some sort of retirement account. So if you're changing and moving money, you're not getting taxed on those sales because it's staying in there.
Right.
If you have a regular account, like let's say you're just trading on Robinhood and you're trading, keep in mind, if you're not lasting a full year before you make a trade, you're getting hit with short-term capital gains, so regular income tax, whether that be, depending on your tax bracket, 30% or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you wait a full year, you can get long-term capital gains, which is like 15 to 20% depending. So let's just say, you're not putting this money in a retirement account, okay? Because you're like, hey, I've got a business, I want to be able to access this money, or maybe you just have plans down the line. You want to buy a house, whatever, right? So let's say you're just putting that money in there and you're doing that on Robinhood or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're trading whatever, and you're getting hit with normal tax just as we would, okay, as if we kept it in a business or whatever. So now you need to ask yourself ROI, okay? I'm getting hit with tax no matter what. Now, where am I going to get my best ROI? Is it going to be trading stocks, trading crypto, trading mutual funds, doing real estate, okay? Or is it going to be reinvesting it into your business? Now, if you don't know business very well and you're like, you had a skill set, so you started a business because you have a skill set, but you don't know business, this might not be for you. Maybe you need to do a lot more research on business, get a coach, whatever, to help you out, join some coaching groups, whatever. But let me just put it this way for you real quick. So I know what I need to do to scale our business. I think I talked about that last week. I like the way we do things, and I like the longer term, lower overhead, less risk option. I know what to do to scale. I just choose not to do it at this time because I really am big on like providing the best quality that we can before growing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it this way. I know with our guys we have that with money invested, I can make about 30%. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I could hire a salesman and I could get 4 more contractors. And by doing that, 6 more contractors even. By doing that, the money I invest, I'm going to make 30% or more on. Okay? The reason I don't do that right now is because I am not happy enough with our like quality and systems we're providing, and the last thing I want to do is try to grow too big too fast and provide a poor, because I know so many contractors who base their business on first time customers because they provide such a shitty product, they provide such shitty service, they provide such shitty pricing, like expensive pricing, that they cannot get a customer to come back. That is not my game. I want customers who return. I want referrals. I want a good reputation and a good name.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of contractors that don't do that who've scaled. I know a lot of contractors that don't scale and do the same shit.
Yeah.
So we will reach that point most likely where we decide to do that option, but it's going to be when we got our systems and quality down so we can literally push play, do what I just explained, and then at a minimum we can get a 30% return on our money that we're investing in, right?
Yeah.
So why do I say that? You need to look at where your money is best spent. So if you're looking and you're going, well, I can make 15, 20% putting my money in trading stocks and stuff. Okay, awesome. How much time is that taking away in energy and finances? Is that taking away from your ability to grow your business? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or, and I'm guilty of this, dude. I tried doing this 100 fucking times. One business starts doing well, I start making some money off it, and I just start another one. And I pour that money back into that, and then I'm pouring a bunch of hours, time, money. And to be honest, almost every one of those failed.
Yeah. And
so when you look at it, it's like Alex Hormozy talks about this. You have an income potential. Ed Mylett talks about your thermostat, okay? So let's say my income ability is, say, 2 million. I've got, like, I pretty safely, can bring in 2 million a year, okay? Now, I can bring in 2 million a year with one business or 3 or 4, okay? But I'm going to put in a lot more effort and be a lot more like stressed and a lot more shit going on and not actually building a solid bridge to bring me to, say, 5 million.
Right.
Because I'm just trying to juggle all these things. You know what I'm saying? And so it's the same thing, dude. If you're spending a lot of bandwidth trying to trade stocks, spend a lot of bandwidth trying to fucking be a real estate investor, flipping houses, wholesaling, being a rental god, all that shit, compared to going, okay, I got a skill set. My skill set is building houses, okay? I can build a house. For me, it's remodels, but let's just follow me for a second. My skill set is building. Instead of me taking my bandwidth off and doing all this shit, I'm going to just focus on building, and I'm going to build a business to bring in, instead of 2 million, I'm going to build this business in the business I know with the skill set I know. Granted, I'm going to have to go out and grab some skill sets on how to grow a business, or get a coach or whatever, but I know how to fucking build. I know how to operate a company building. I just need someone to come in and help me put in the systems. I need someone to come in and help me, know how to navigate marketing and hiring and etc. I'm going to bring this business from 2 to 4 or 5. And you're going to have a lot less stress. You're going to be solely focused on one thing. You're going to be able to provide a better product because you're spending all of your time and energy on one offering instead of 5 or 10. And so you're going to be a lot better businessman, and you're going to master. You're going to become a master. It says it takes 10 years to master something. You're going to be a master that much faster because you spent that time on that. Sorry, not 10 years, 10,000 hours. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master something. So if you're pouring all your time and effort into building houses and building this business that builds houses, and you spend 10,000 hours on that, you're going to get there in 5 years compared to, boom, spreading it over 4 different businesses. Now it's going to take you 20 years to master these 4 different businesses.
Yeah.
And in that time, you might not even reach that same income potential. So all this accounted for, right? All this saying this should have been a tutor episode, but I wanted to talk about it today. Look at what will give you the most ROI, okay? The caveat or the thing I will say about that, there is such a thing as seasoning period. There is such a thing as time. Even we've been flipping and we've been flipping for like 4 years, and we've been doing customer stuff for like 2 years, 3 years probably, huh? We've been doing a lot more of it in the last year and a half.
Yeah. I would say mainly a year and a half.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot more of it in the last year and a half, but we have been doing it a little bit over the last like 3 years.
Yeah.
But so we've been doing, our recognition is already so much more now than it was, dude, a year ago.
Yeah.
Or 2, right? And so it's like, okay, if we just keep on the time piece, we keep seasoning the business and become more known, get more referrals, get more people talking about our quality and our fairness, and that they're repeat customers and whatever. We let the business season, okay? We'll be getting more referrals, we'll be getting more calls, we'll be recognized more. Then maybe it's let's say maybe it's 2 more years. Maybe it's 2 more years. We're doing nothing but just keeping the repetitions in, getting known, building the brand, building the standard. And then in 2 years, we're getting more referrals than we can handle. We're getting more calls than we can handle. Now we start marketing as well on top of that. And you're marketing and people are like, oh yeah, I've heard of you. I know so-and-so got some work done from you.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, awesome. Now we see your trucks around town. Like granted, we need to get logos. We need to do all that stuff. But like, yep, we see your trucks around town. We know who you are. Yeah, you know what? We are in the market for some new siding. Why don't you come out? So don't forget that there's a seasoning period. And sometimes I talked to my friend Mason about this last week. Sometimes at the beginning, it's not about just pouring all these funds back in. It's almost like stacking those funds for when you're ready. That's why I don't put a ton of money in retirement. I keep a lot of money on hand that I put into some stocks and stuff that I can access quick, that I use for flipping, so that way I can at least get a 10% return and not lose my cash.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that because I got a plan. And that plan is like a 5-year, a 10-year, a 20-year plan. That money is going to come in really handy in a couple years.
Yeah.
Time, seasoning. So what's my best ROI? Right now, I believe my best ROI for my brand and my standard is to stack that cash, put it in stocks, keep it in flips for what we got planned down the road in 3-5 years.
Yeah.
And then use it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Speaking of that, it's actually really funny because one of our...
I probably shouldn't tell people that, dude. People know my plan, dude. People know I'm... Go ahead.
A realtor friend of ours who has referred us a lot of work just texted Shaun actually while we've been podcasting, saying there was a huge storm in Eau Claire last Thursday.
Yeah.
And so quite a few people got hail damage on their houses and cars and whatnot. And he just texted saying that he has his insurance guy was looking for a contractor to refer his clients to.
Awesome.
And so he gave his insurance guy your number
Dude.
to have his clients reach out to if they need an estimate.
LFG, baby. LFG.
So it just goes to show, like, word of mouth, like, already is our strongest asset.
Bro, 80%, 90%.
Yeah. So that's why, like,
Close to 100% dude.
honestly, yeah, we've spent quite a bit of money on, like, flyers and advertising and stuff like that, and we honestly haven't gotten much work from it.
Bro, the flyers, the letters, they're onesie twosies.
Yeah, and the letters are more for, like, flips, not customer work.
100%. We've gotten a couple jobs though.
We've gotten a couple.
We've gotten a couple jobs. So yeah, I mean, I bet you 80% is word of mouth. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, letters are probably the cheapest thing for us to do, and that's what we've gotten the most hits on, advertisement wise.
So I talked to my friend John. John comes to a lot of our meetings. Great guy, ton of life experience. Just a cool dude. He's done a ton of things. Well, so I was chatting to him, and he's like, Shaun, he's like, you come out and you do some of my projects, you and your brother. I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, I know you know business. I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, you know, and I see this writing on the wall, you can only do that for so long. I was like, John, I'm with you 100%. He's like, I'm going to give you 2 examples of folks I know over the years. Both of the folks he knew, okay, that because he brought up people that still wanted to, like, work in the business, be a little hands-on, do a little of the carpentry work, because we like doing that.
Yeah.
And but still operating a business. Both of the examples he gave, very successful people. They both got to do some hands-on work here and there. They both operated 100% referral based. And they did that for a reason. Mm-hmm. They don't want the overhead of marketing and having salespeople. Well, they had like an estimator, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't have like someone doing sales. They had like estimator. And they wanted referrals because through referrals, you get more qualified customers. Yeah. So if someone's looking at a project and they're like, holy fuck, Steve, you got this new sick kitchen. Steve's like, yeah, so-and-so did it, whatever. And they go, Steve, you mind if we ask, well, what's something like this cost? Fuck, this kitchen was $35,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's in our budget. Mm-hmm. Sweet. Then they can give us a ring and whatever. Or they go, fuck, that's more than we thought. They're not going to give it's qualifying those people.
Right, yeah.
And so right there, a lot of the referrals we get tend to be more qualified. Like someone asked me the other day, they're like, how many, and the other day, it's like a year ago, they're like, what's your closing percentage? Because people are like, if you're closing a high percentage, you're not doing enough marketing, you don't have enough leads. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I'm closing like over 50, easy over 50. Yeah. Probably like 60% that we close for like estimates we do. And people are like, well, your estimates are, your estimates are too low, you're not doing enough, whatever. And I'm like, sure, that is true. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If I want to spend more time estimating, then absolutely we could get more jobs that could be higher. Most of these people are coming referrals. Yeah. They have an idea what other people paid. They know the work we're doing, and they're coming to us, and I give them that bid, and they're like, yeah, this is what we expected. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. I don't, that's where we want to drive, and talking to John and listening to him tell us about the couple business he knew that operates the way I want to operate, makes me feel good knowing that that's a good, viable
option.
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of the customers who have like turned us down were the few that we've gotten from some marketing that we've done.
Yeah, you're right.
That weren't like word of mouth.
You're right.
Most of the people that, I mean, I would say almost probably 80% of the people that were word of mouth have approved our estimates. Like done with us.
And you want to know what? Some of the ones that were letters or whatever, they saw flyers or whatever, they denied us just based on brand recognition.
Yeah.
They're like, we've never heard of you, where we've heard of X company. And they're like, they're a little more expensive and we don't even care.
Yeah.
Because we've heard of them. And I'm like, I can't argue that.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. You don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's just goes into more of like the brand recognition and stuff.
Yeah. Well, cool. You got any more today?
Dude, Sunday might just be a half talk, half tutor, because we just spent 30 minutes on tutor.
I know. That's why I kind of want to do a car podcast. I think that'd be fun.
We'll try it out.
We'll test it out. Got to make sure we have the phone mount.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Gang. All right, dudes. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had fun.
I had fun.
I just sat. I don't feel like I talked much.
You looked good. That's what's important.
Freshly showered.
My fave.
I know.
All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.
Wait, hold on. Have a good Memorial weekend.
Oh, yeah.
All right, bye.
See ya.